Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy. More specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney. So summer is coming up, and that means outdoor concerts and festivals. They'll just be everywhere, and I'm so excited and looking forward to that. It's just a fun time of year. And that's actually how I found today's guest. I saw a festival called Tacos and Tequila, and of course it caught my eye. I love them both. And I was checking out the details on Facebook, and I looked a little bit deeper into the parties involved in such a fun event, and I found Ashton Martin. You'll hear everything he does, and I hope his story inspires you to get moving with your own business, start your own regimen, find more balance in your life, or use his services for your next party. Let's jump into it. Well, hey, Ashton, welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. You are one busy man. Oh my gosh, you do it all.
I try to slide as much as I can into a day in a 24-hour period. Yeah, not enough hours
That's
in the day.
good. You
get older. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yep. No, I understand that. When I saw you on Facebook associated with Tacos and Tequila, the event coming up, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to talk to him.
Yeah. And you had me at Spandex, and I was like, all right, do I wear? So I grabbed the tightest shirt I could find. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love the name. It's cool. So I appreciate you having me on. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, Spandex and Wine. I used to tell people, well, I've been in the fitness industry for 22 years now. And about 8 years ago, I started doing in-home wine tastings. And so I would always tell people my life is Spandex and Wine. So I thought this just makes sense.
Oh, Spandex and Wine. Well, yeah, you have to have moderation. With my life, it's what you see is go, 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 but there's also the fitness aspect and then the family life. So it's, you know the drill, you know the story.
Right. Yeah. So when I was looking at that Tacos and Tequila, I'm like, okay, who's behind this? And so I saw you and I thought he clearly works out. So I feel like he fits the mold to be a guest on the show.
Thank you.
So you're a DJ. Yep. And tell us everything that you do, because I was looking at your website and it just keeps going on and on and on and on about everything that you've done and your accolades.
Yeah, sure. Well, I will try to make this as brief as possible, but kind of got to go know the start to know now. So went to KU, University of Kansas, 0207, did the old victory lap. Air Force, they made cutbacks. That was going to be my whole intent of, I've been flying since a young age. From a small little town, they offered a scholarship. I said, cool. Southeast Kansas, Burlington, Kansas. That's what put the flight in my head. So again, went to University of Kansas, did ROTC, boot camp, whole nine, made cutbacks. That brought me to what am I going to do? So I added another degree, exercise science, to my psychology degree. So there's where the fitness kind of comes in. So I was bartending, and I was always pretty into music. You know how there's always that one guy with the mixed CD or whatever that always had. That was kind of me. Always had the pre-parties, if you will, or the pre-drinking parties before we went out. So I was always in charge of music. So I enjoyed that. The guys that I heard play, a couple buddies of mine still, Archie and Beastie were their names, DJ names and R. They're from East Coast and they were using records. So I was like, whoa, this would be cool. So they taught me. So it got to be where I'd set up the bar where I was bartending, and I would open for them as soon as I would mess up, which normally wouldn't take that long then. And then, And then I'd go back and bartend, and they'd close the night. So I was opening, and I learned how to open correctly, which there is an art to that. And it brought me all the way up to 07, 08, moved to Kansas City. I got these degrees, right? I'm going to use these degrees. Well, after I sold Cutco and knocked on some doors and sold some ADT and hustled, I was like, I'm going to go back to bartending. Yeah. Well, I just started the night I showed up to bartend out in Legends. There's a place called Banana Joe's back in the day, like 08, 09.
Yep.
I think, you might remember these little clubs out there. I'm thinking back. I'm trying to remember these things. I'm jogging memory. I got a residency there because the DJ called in. So I didn't get the bartending slot. I got the DJ slot. So I just kind of happenstance and universe and working in my favor. And I just started grinding around Kansas City and shaking hands, meeting people. And I love to do that. So networking, and one thing led to another. And then went from what was Martini Corner, 31st and Gillum, the Soul Cantinas, the Velvet Dogs, the Plaza, which was Reverse back in the day. I played a couple things at Blonde. Most people know Blonde. Some of these are probably ringing a bell if you're from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Plaza had a club, that whole thing. And then Power and Light, played down there, started making relationships there, all the while building a corporate clientele and a private clientele and, the weddings and more luxury events. So that brings me kind of I'll skip over, this is about year 18. So I'll skip over the COVIDs and all that, and I'll bring it up to date because we don't have all day. But what I've done now is I brought on another owner in October of 22 that, I was fortunate. My company grew quick, and it turned from me DJing to me doing a lot of booking. That wasn't really what I got into it to do, to like manage bookings. Somebody hit me up, hey, I'm already booked. Hey, I got this DJ, Well, that kind of turned into me having my own agency and having my own book of business with DJs. So, and then I would facilitate entertainment. Well, as time went on, I wanted more. I like challenges, so I added more to it, like the production. And so now I have my production side, I have an agency side, I have the DJ side. So, for instance, like Hollywood Casino. So I handle the bookings out there. So we have a DJ out there every single Saturday. So that's cool. So stuff
cool.
like that. Official DJ for sporting, but I also facilitate other DJs in that area too, which leads to the private event sector. So as I turn the corner at 40 on April 20th, that's
happy birthday
combo. Yeah, thank you. I don't feel any older. There wasn't some big thing, but it is what it is. But when I had my daughter, she's 3, that started making me think. In COVID, I will bring it up. COVID started making me think about restructuring, which I'm sure you had to start thinking differently. You have a mobile gym behind you that may have been there a long time, but you may be added to it during COVID. I don't know. There's something there's something added to everybody that they had to bring to stay afloat because of COVID. So it had me, I was like, man. So in my mind, I thought I had 3 or 4 different avenues. Like I had the production, I had the private, I had the nightlife. So not everything was in one basket. So it's like, oh, I'm pretty well, good spread here. Okay. Then we shut down. I was like, okay, I wasn't anticipating this. So that's when I brought on the other owner and started building out. How I did things was archaic. Just because it went quick. I was fortunate. Things blew up, and you're just doing what you can do. Like I started running payroll, and I was like, okay, Venmo is not the way to run payroll. So how do we do that? And it's all good things, but it's all like you're doing this while you're still doing other things in your day to day. So that was a really big step, is letting go of the reins and letting somebody else take control of that, which helped me work on the company versus doing the day-to-day stuff. I'm not above it. I'm not against it. It's just, there's things right. So that brought me, we've been growing that ever since. So that has a company now, which is called Golden Hour, which is what houses the DJs. It handles the production and handles everything. So everything kind of starts there, because it's more of a flashy name than I had to come up with something like ADJM LLC, because my real name is Ashton David Joseph DJ Martin. So I was like, can't be putting that on like, come get, you're like, we'll take care of you, ADJ. It's not
yeah.
So we had to have something. So we came together and created Golden Hour, which is still early in the launch, but and my partner's Eric James. I don't know if I mentioned his name, but been a great asset to being able to build. He's also a father, so we get that. He's also a DJ, gets that. So got to align. Like it took me a long time. So we're excited for where we're building, and it's just honestly continuing to challenge ourselves and add to it and take care of clients and make sure that they're the top priority. And I think that's the thing you do. So, and that's basically been our whole motto is I try to answer emails as fast as possible, like psychotically fast, and try to take care of people best I can. So that is a very short, quick, but that's the basis of where I got to where I am. You brought up the tacos and tequila, that the festivals. So
yeah.
You want me to jump into that? I can.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, so Josh James hit me up. It's a funny story. My good buddy Josh James hit me up, and he's the GM of Social House Entertainment. And they put on Tacos and Tequila, several other festivals, not just a phase. But with tacos, he hit me up and it's kind of funny. He's like, hey, do you want to be on this festival? And I was like, sure, Legends Field. I'm like, yeah, man, that's cool. And I was like, so in my mind, I get hit up for stuff, people call me, but I don't, sometimes they just hold the date and then they go figure it out. And then they come back and tell me all of what's going on. I'm like, okay, cool. That's just kind of how it goes. So I'm like excited. I'm like, all right, this taco, I'm thinking like side stage. I'm kind of playing. So he sends me with a flyer and I think this is pretty much the story. I get a flyer and it's like Ludacris, Petey Pablo, like, I'm like, what? I was like, my name's at the bottom. I'm like,
Hey, it's Robin. Sorry to interrupt the episode, but wanted to let you know the Spandex and Wine Summer Tour has begun. This summer, I'll be visiting wineries, breweries, and local businesses to talk to you. I want to hear all your inspiring wellness stories, as well as the funny fitness and wine or any adult beverage stories. And I just might share yours on the podcast. There will also be giveaways and prizes, so check it all out at spandexandwine.com to see the entire summer tour schedule. Now, back to the podcast episode.
what? I go, what am I doing? And he's like, dude, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Like, you wait your whole career for something that's like,
Yeah.
this is amazing. Like, there's been some really cool, stages I've played, a lot of opportunities with the sports, with like the, with World Series, with the Chiefs, with sporting, like all of that. But like, then there's like nostalgia from, I just mentioned I went to college in 0207. So like, think about the music. They literally put all of the things that I used to start mixing and learn how to DJ with right on a flyer. And then here's my name. I'm like, I'm not worthy kind of thing. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
so like, it was real surreal. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like, all right. So I play like doors to the first act. Well, it just so happened that Petey Pablo was the opener on that one. He's the first of like 9, I think. And I was like, cool. They're like, hey, and it gets better. They're like, you want to run his set? And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, sure. Yeah. What's up? I was like, let me go talk to him. So here, me and Peter standing there, like going through his set and like, I'm like, you go with this? He's like, yeah. So we just winged it, became friends, still friends, like to this day. Which was cool because like you see them in one light when I was like 18, 19 years old, and then you're sitting here talking to them and it's like my job to make sure this goes smooth. So you're not really thinking about what it's going on, but you're just like, you're just being a professional. I've been here, done this. Okay, cool. But it was like super surreal about the whole thing. I was like, this is wild because what it turned into is I played the opening set, but then there's switches in the middle where they're moving staging around and stuff. So I played the breaks of every single one. So 9 artists is 8 breaks in the middle. So I get these little 15-minute, not always, but most of the time, little sections. So it's like, my job to keep the energy high, but not like say the next act is Pretty Ricky or whatever, or Bobby Valentino, where he's more R&B. So I'm not going to be playing DMX. We're back to the little science to it. So I'm not going to get him up here.
Yeah.
I'll play more like Juvenile, Slow Motion, get everybody in it. Because you got to think that demographic is pretty odd. Like it's a real chill, like, and it's hot. So you got to kind of keep them moving. But it's fun. So that to me has been like a huge accolade, I guess, or a milestone. That'd be what it'd be. Massive milestone for me. And then not only that, but it went from there to Fort Worth, Milwaukee. Now it's in 7 different markets, including Winnipeg. So it's like, yeah, it's been really, really cool. So like festival season truly is festival season for that. Cause it's like 2 a month for 5 months and it's cool. So, and then like San Antonio is October because it's so hot. So and I haven't been there since boot camp. So the first is the part of this podcast. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to go an extra day and check it out. But man, I can't say enough about the Tacos and Tequila have been really, really, really cool. Like I don't have a better word for it. Like it's surreal and fun. And now it's just like, we all know each other and it's kind of like a house party vibe because it's not all the same, but like a lot of artists are interchangeable in different markets. So it's fun, like the Ja Rules, the Yin Yang Twins, the Chingies, Murphy Lee. Like it's fun. You're just watching guys that used to listen to their music and they're right there. Like, oh, that's kind of wild. So it's cool. So it's really fun.
That's so cool. Yes.
Yeah, friends. And I get lucky enough to where I get to bring a few friends too and a wife. So we're like, I can hang out and watch with them. And then I jump back out and do a little set. So it's been it's pretty cool. It's like, it's pretty amazing. And couldn't be happier about it. So it's cool. And it continues to grow.
Yeah.
So nowhere, it's not like it's slowing down. It's picking up. We're 4 years in for Kansas City. This is the 4th one. So T-Pain's headline
Wow.
is going to be huge. So yeah, I have a lot of good things to say about that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I appreciate you asking.
No, that's
What
so
to know
cool.
about it.
Congratulations.
No, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, my next question then is going to be how do you balance it all? Because clearly you still work out. You're in great shape.
Thank you.
And I just don't if you're up so late, doing all of these
Right.
gigs, how do you get up in the morning and do your workout? And tell me about your balance.
Yeah. So, well, this is as of new and as of recent. That's a great question because, okay, so I was always known for just being, well, I mean, my biggest year, and this isn't, sounds braggadocious, but it's not because it was actually pretty rough. I did over 500 shows in one year. And I
Oh
was
my gosh.
like, yeah, like my big most in one month was like 52 or something like that. And it was Blue
Wow.
October when we went, it was ridiculous. It was doing like, and that's a real count. That isn't glamorized. That isn't like I have like that's what it was. And so
Dang.
yeah, I'm like a real type A dude. Like you got to find the wall. So my 20s were, like you don't, for me, I didn't know exactly pinpoint what was working, but saying no wasn't good enough for me. So I would be everywhere at once. So I tried to be anyway, and it wore me down. I never would admit that, but like looking back,
Hmm.
I'm like, definitely should have worked smarter, not harder at some point, but you don't know when it's going to end. And you don't
Yeah.
know exactly like because one time you do say no, but then you were going to, then you say yes, and you meet this person, and that person is the Josh James that asked me to do the tacos and tequila.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, so like those are that, why would everything was a missed opportunity if I wasn't there. So to answer your question, that was a little idea of what it was. And then, like I mentioned, trying to restructure because that pace at 100 and 300 miles an hour wasn't good enough. And then when Monroe came, I just was like, I don't want to not see her. Every single night of the week, I'm out till some nights are midnight, some nights are 3. But if she goes to bed at 7:30, she's
Yeah.
probably going to see me most nights, right? So
Hmm.
and then here I am getting home late, and then I'm getting her to school. So the way I restructured it and bringing and having those different avenues and working in different areas of the company to create revenue and just to create more, streams and or potential streams for revenue. I backed off, and it was a real mental. This is what I want to like really drive home. It was when you're used to doing like Mach 1 or faster in your mind, and then you're sitting there and like somebody has your day to day and they're doing your contracts, and then you do the meetings and you're doing the calls. But then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it was really riding on me. But I focused on family and I focused on my daughter. And then I get up, I get her, take her to school, or I don't get up, get her. I go to room and get her. We all live together. But I get up, I'm very fortunate. I get to get her ready for school, feed her breakfast, take her to school, and then finish my day. And then I get to pick her up. That isn't something that everybody gets to do. So I really
Yeah.
focus on that part. And I can do all the other stuff because I got to balance everything else the rest of my career or the last 18 years. Like what could possibly be more brutal or more intense, right? So
Yeah.
that's the balance is this. I'm highly regimented, always have been, and my wife's the same way. In her own way, we stay out of each other's way in that measure. Sometimes we can feed in together a little threading, but like most of the time we do our thing. But for me, it's up at 6, 7 o'clock, and then get her ready for school. Then I go straight to the gym. Then I go right into calls. My first calls, if I need to take them early, I will. But most calls and walkthroughs aren't before 10, 11. So I'm done with the things that I want to do mentally. And so I can start my day mentally prepared and um, just kind of in the right mindset to kind of take on whatever I want. I like to start like that. If I don't get to start with the workout, it throws me off a little bit, but not enough to where I can make it. I can compartmentalize, but I like to start like that. And then I can get back home, shower around 12:01, and then I get my lunch, and then I go right into it. So that's the balance for me now is just really focusing on the family, the dad, me being a dad, and then sharing that responsibility of the company that I have with the partner versus
Hmm.
me doing all of it. Because like I was coming home and staying up till 3 or 4 o'clock doing numbers, and then you have to do them 3 more times anyway because it's 3 or 4 o'clock and you're not counting correctly. I mean, I know numbers, but I'm not. That's not like my four. I don't get up in the morning. I just can't wait to do a tap. It's not. It's like, yeah, let's go make some money, but like doing numbers is not. So anyway, I got a great partner for that. So Eric kills that.
Yeah.
So that would be how I do balance, is just that there's things that this is what it's going to be. I mean, sure, you got to be flexible in life, but this is what potentially I'd like to do every single day. And it gets it's kind of boring. Like my Instagram looks like one thing, but my day to day is really very much 7 o'clock, take her to school, take Monroe to school. And then, wife gets home around 5, 6 o'clock, sometimes 7. And then if I need to go do something, I do. And if not, then I'm home and then I go to bed around 11 or 12. Now I'm capable of running 2, 3 days straight on no sleep. And okay, so this is when it gets kind of tricky. I'll jump into this for a minute. So that's a pretty much Monday through Wednesday schedule. Thursday, it gets pretty wild around Friday to Sunday, because you do what you got to do for events and coordinating stuff. But when you start adding in flight, you start adding in travel. I never take anything else other than the first flight out. I don't want anything. It's always before 7 o'clock. I'm 5:40, first one out, because I want to make sure I get to where I'm going. So with the delay, if there is one, so I have 2 more times to get there. Right. So for instance, like I'll take off on a Saturday at 5:40, fly somewhere else and play, and then get back home by like Sunday night or Monday morning. So then that really May 18th. That'll go straight through November. And it's about almost every single weekend. I think I'm almost out of town or traveling. So it's just boom, 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 boom. So that kind of ties into, we've grown into other markets as well. So that sometimes pulls me out. So it's nothing for me to like fly to St. Louis and fly back. People laugh about that. I'm like, if you ever flown to St. Louis, you'll never drive again. Like 35 minutes. Like you'll never do it again. So it's worth getting back. I'm not going to drive. So that would be the balance. The balance is there's just things I need. There's priorities change, and there's things that I won't budge on, which is like family and seeing daughter, unless I have to be out of town. There's some things you just have to do. Sacrifice still has to be there. That's how I got to where I am. But that would be, I mean, it looks pretty chaotic, but I can do logistics pretty well. And it's pretty calming to me. Like that is where I live. Like if I don't have anything on my calendar, I get super, like, I don't really know what to do. So like if I need tasks to do and things to execute, and that way I can, that's my chaos is kind of like where I enjoy being, if that makes sense. Yeah. I like that. I don't know.
It does. I mean, I'm the same way. I like to go at a fast pace, and it did hit my ego pretty hard when I cut back during COVID, and I took out some of my classes, and so that was hard, and I'm sure that was hard for you when you made that shift. But I mean, we both know you can't keep up that pace without taking some, some balance and relaxing. So how do you step back and give yourself and fill your cup? How do you do that? What does that look like for you?
Like, how do I step back and like, what do I do to like
relax? Like, yeah. When do you take a break?
Man, I have to like really, really I've gotten better at it. So, and that was I keep bringing that up, but that was really helped me, because I know he has these tasks and I can like, okay, I can relax and check out for here. It didn't used to be like, obviously like that. And it sounds like that for you as well. Any business owner, let's just be real. I need a lead time on it. Like I have to be able to get myself prepared. So like we did a joint 40th birthday. I'll use this as an example, in March in Playa. So my wife turned 40 in February, and then April. So we picked right in the middle, went to Playa, took the car, about 20 friends came with us. I had probably 6 months to know that was coming. So I had everything structured and up, and about that last 72 hours, I was just knocking things out. So I was knocking things out for 2 weeks down. That way I could go and I left my phone in the room. We had great service. I left my phone in the room for like a whole 10 hours and had my watch off. I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't really, one of us was by a phone because of our daughter, but like I was running around, like we were going to the gym, running down Paris, whatever, playing on the beach. But like, I had to prep myself for that. And then I give myself an allotted time of like, I have an hour to do emails or phone or whatever I need to do, calls. So that's how I prep for that. Or I'll just go crazy, because you're trying to keep up on, and I don't like, that's not why we're there. Like be searching my phone, So that's kind of how, and then if you want to talk about like not going somewhere, just staying around home, that would just be, I can just kind of sense when a quiet day is going to be. And I can choose either to, if there's things to get ahead on, we do it. or I can choose to be like, it's rainy and tornadoes like there's not a lot of people are thinking work. I enjoy working when it's raining because I feel like I'm out running errands when nobody else is or doing stuff.
Yeah.
Or snowing, I'm like, I have a 4-wheel drive, let's go. So I enjoyed it's like you get ahead or something. I don't know. I'm like, oh, cool. Then the roads aren't going to be crazy. I'll just go out and do stuff now. But I can be like, okay, nothing's coming in today. I haven't got a whole lot of emails. Calls are kind of chill. I'll take a breather for a few hours here and I can kind of just like, it doesn't take me a whole long time, but I can kind of like, okay. And I'll pick a project around the house and I'll do that. And then I'll put my phone down and I'll be good. So I
Yeah.
like doing projects and I like doing things myself. Pretty handy. So there's some things I refuse to pay for. So
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. So it may take a while for me to get to it, but so that's probably how. No magic trick there. Just I have to make myself do it, or I'll just keep working and going and going and going.
Yeah.
So
No, I understand that. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard just to be quiet when you know there's all these things that you need to do or you could be doing and take advantage of that time.
right.
Um, so you're in this atmosphere of party all the time, and that's got to be difficult too for your diet. I'm assuming that you have, I mean, you're young enough still that you can get away with a
So
lot.
yeah, but I mean, I'm gifted with it. I want to say, I've always my friends are always like, oh yeah, this crazy metabolism, but really, I've worked out my whole life. I've gotten better at it. I would like to think,
Mhm.
learn more, and I think that's part of the joy of working out is getting to know your body better. Like that's
Yeah.
just well, it doesn't mean lifting heavier or lighter or whatever. I'm talking about just knowing what your body can tolerate and what it can do. Like if I need to demand something out of it and I need to go do it, I need to be able to do that. So like I don't
Yeah.
train because I think it's cool. Yeah, everybody wants to look good naked and be aesthetically appealing, look at the guy and whatever your goals are, go for it. I behoove you to go do it. Do it, do it, do it. But um be realistic, but also like I'd like to just be able to do what I want to do physically. If I want to jump in the back of a truck and unload it and throw it and not be winded, I can do that. Like I don't want, I want to be flexible. I don't want to be in pain. It's really simple. Like for me, it's like flexibility, don't be in pain. I've had a few car wrecks. I beat myself up pretty good. So um, I know what my body can handle. So I work around that. And that's also a challenge. So that's also fun in a weird, sick way, I guess. But it's just, it is what it is. But as far as diet, kind of funny, like I never really thought of it as intermittent fasting until people started calling it that years ago or whenever that got hot. So in college, it's kind of what I'd done my whole life. I just didn't realize it. I'd get up, I'd do PT, or I'd get up and go to class and work out. And then I wouldn't eat my first, I'd do protein shake or whatever pre-workout. And I wouldn't eat till like 1 or 2 o'clock. I've done that
Mhm.
pretty much for 25 years, 30 years probably. So, I mean, that really, when I've made a lot of sense, I'm like, oh, I never really reverse engineered why. Okay, cool. I mean, I eat, two, I try to shoot for 3 to 4,000 a day to maintain, but like still pretty high, but I'm pretty active though too. And then you take into consideration 100 and some degrees and August weather, and you're standing up all day long and you're moving, you're burning and burning and burning. It's all I can do to maintain my weight. Women do not like this conversation around me, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like, it is what it is. My wife's like, shut up. But it's true. Like I don't like it. Nobody wants to eat a bunch of food when it's 100. So
Right.
there's little tricks like protein shakes. I don't really eat bad. I mean, I don't know if I want a hamburger, I would eat a hamburger. Like if I feel like I want
Yeah.
one, but I don't normally it's chicken, turkey, um, a lot of like some steaks. Like I don't really, I love Asian cuisine of any kind, sushi. I mean, I'm not picky, but I don't like I can't go eat like a double cheeseburger fast. I mean, I could, but it's just gonna make me feel weird for a while. But
Yeah.
it's and then partying. So like drinking. So like that's always just in your face, and
Yeah.
the added calories, like sure, I've never really had to worry about that. But it's just more of a like, it's not good for you to just put alcohol in your body. And I've done my fair share of partying, and I still like to. I'm not a casual drinker. I'm a social drinker. So like, and probably out of boredom too. So like, you're in Mexico, where I mean, you're by the beach and your friends, it's all inclusive. Like, we didn't even drink as much. We made fun of this. We all didn't party as hard as we thought we would. Like we did, but it was actually more sparse. I'm like, dude, I'm not drinking all day long. Like I'll be like knocked out. So,
Yeah.
no, and you're not we can just force feed myself vodka so I can party in the all inclusive. No, man, I do a little sprint. Me and my wife always we have a little sprint, and then we have fun, and then we wake up and do our thing, get food or get water or whatever we need to do but never really. I don't know. It's like it was like not promoting binge drinking. It's not that, but it's just like I'm not above it. I don't drink at happy hours. I don't drink during the day. It'd make me tired if I did. I don't like
Yeah.
that. Um, it's kind of a waste. Like, it'd get back to that. So if we're going to party and we're going to celebrate or we have a birthday, then let's go to dinner and then let's go party and celebrate. Let's go do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
my mental game's there. And the next day I'm like, you did this again. You're drinking water. Okay. So it gets easier. Like, I show up to the bars and clubs later, but I have less and less. As about June last year, I started getting a little more, I wouldn't say picky, but I wasn't, I put a lot more bandwidth. My bandwidth cleaned up a lot. I have a lot more as of last June. I stepped away from a few things that were riding on me. And then I was able to position back into that luxury world and lean into that pretty hard, because there was a certain point where I was like, okay, you have all this night, because I was doing nightlife, private, like all this, like everything I could do, I was doing it. Well, then when I
Mhm.
put back on that, it gave me clarity on a lot of other things that were already sitting there, opportunities. And I'm like, oh, so there's not much strain for me to go out. Because, for instance, last weekend, um, or this week, or last weekend. So I had a charity event on Friday for American Cancer Society. Shave to Save. That was cool. Union Station.
Cool.
There was no reason to drink there. It was 5 to 9. So there wasn't like my friends were like,
Yeah.
rage. You don't have, it's not like out on the plaza. Like, I'll do those occasionally. And it's like a homecoming. I play there
Yeah.
once or twice, every other month or whatever. And it's like, go in there and it's people I've known. I've lived off the plaza for 20 years. So here, this array of 30 people that I haven't seen forever. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. So it's fun, but that's almost impossible. To stay away, be like, okay, I'll do a shot with you. It was your birthday 6 months ago. Sure. I haven't seen you in a year. Right. Whatever. Any excuse. Right. So, but no,
Yeah.
most of the corporate and the private, I don't drink at those. The only way I'll do that
Yeah.
is if like the CEO or the main person's like, would you like a drink? And I'm like, you know what? I'll do like a little shot with you or something. And then they normally forget, but it's more of a camaraderie. Thank you for having me. Back to the
Yeah.
social. But yeah, it's not something I wake up and think about. It's as if
Yeah.
it's a social thing. That it
Yeah.
really is. Over COVID, a lot of people partied, which cool. I didn't drink at all. I didn't do anything. I was more worried about how the hell I was gonna make money. I was
Yeah.
like, when's this not gonna stop? Okay, cool. Because a lot of people were still getting paid. They got furloughed or whatever. But I wasn't interested in partying during that. I did a bunch of house projects, and then I was trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not something I battle with. It's something that I'm just stuck in my ways on. And like, I have rules, like I don't have any
Yeah.
reason Monday through Thursday. And then if I was like a Friday, Saturday, like this week's a fun week. It's the Derby party on Saturday. I'm doing
Yeah.
that at social, and then that's gonna be fun. That's 3 to 6:30. Had an event move late night, so got a babysitter, so we'll all be out in our Derby clothes. Probably call an early night because we're gonna start 3, or they will. So, and then Sunday I have Cinco de Mayo. So main stage power and live.
Fun.
Later on, I do an industry night in Westport at a place called Firefly. It's super cool. That's fun too. So, those are all party bars, and the party
Yeah.
bar is what it is. So,
Yep.
but,
Yep.
but there's a lot of events when it's just straight where I'm going into festivals. Like, I'm not partying at tacos and tequila. Like, there might be a shot had somewhere across the line where somebody hands you one. You're like, okay, cool. But I'm not a super crazy fan of tequila, and don't tell them I said
Oh,
that. I love
oh, I
tequila.
love tequila.
So great. No, but everybody's had their bad experience with tequila, right? I've just never really got over it. Um, Everybody has something, right?
That's
You
right. That's right.
can't do Jaeger. Uh, yeah. So yeah. I mean, you're just not in that mode. It's hot.
Yeah.
You're just trying to, you're trying not to sweat to death. And one thing I would say I added to the mix for over 2 years now is I get a weekly IV. I get a
Oh, okay.
Myers bag with glutathione, and I'm telling you, that was a game changer. And I don't mean
Really?
for drinking and partying. I mean for overall well-being. I get one either Thursday. If I'm flying out of town, I get it Thursday or Friday. And then if I'm not in town, I do normally Saturday morning or Friday.
Okay.
So that was like, yeah, my good friend, I'll plug her here for you. It's her name's Shannon, and
Yes.
Lux Wellness, you know her?
Yes.
Yeah,
Her mom comes to my studio.
There you go. So small world. I was like, we got to connect on somebody. Well, there's our 1 degree.
There you go.
Good friend, she told me she's going to start this. I'm going to start this IV company. Come to your house. Cool. Been with her ever since. I started originally out at Drip Bar in Lee Summit. Another friend started one, another nurse friend, and I was driving out there. I was like, God, this drive's crazy. Started as one, and I got one. I was like, whoa, this is like a game changer. This is crazy. I was like,
Huh.
like this, I'm gonna come back, and then I never really looked back. So that's a priority in my. It's you're investing in yourself. I think I mentioned that you sent that little template over to fill out. I think when I said I'd elaborate, that's what I mean by investing in yourself. Like you can drink water, and I think that's good enough. I mean, just for the most part. But if you do have the little extra cash on you, and like I once a week is probably. I mean, I wouldn't say excessive. I like it, but I mean, I think if you did once a month or every 10 days, I think you'd be good.
Yeah.
But like, especially in the summer, telling you it literally made, it was like, oh my God, yes, it was everything. So yeah,
That's good to know. I've
I
always
just
wondered if they worked. I need to have Shannon on.
oh, 100%. Yeah. Just, oh, there you go, Shannon. Hey. So, no, like that, that is part of my regimen just as much as my reds and my greens and my collagen and my everything else in the morning. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
as much as that. So yeah, I would absolutely say that would be, if you could take everything away and said, Ashton, you can have one thing, I would take away all my supplements and then I would just have the IV once a week. If I could,
Wow. Okay. That is good to know.
because I'm not a supplement for instance, but I've got a good stack that I really like from Supplement Super or Superstore. That I love those guys over there. Another plug. We just fill this all up with plugs, but this is what we're talking about. I like my reds, I like my greens, I like my pre-workout, I like my proteins, I like my collagen, like my carbolin, but joint support, of course, and your multivitamin, which is powder form, which is I think imperative. You don't have to swallow the 10 pills, just powder it up. But yeah, on all of those aside, I'd take the IV. Those guys are handy.
Okay.
I'd take the IV. Would I take a Myers with a glutathione?
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely going to look into that. So going back to like all of your services, you've talked about some big events that you do. Do you do smaller events as well? And if so, how can people find you?
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. Yeah, I don't. A lot of people are very interested on how the bigger events and the festivals came to be, but no, I just did a 25-person, 15-year-old birthday party not a month ago for a friend of mine. It doesn't have to be a friend, but it was through a friend. No, we still manage anything entertainment, anything production wise. I hate to say it like this, but one-stop shop for all your needs, but it's true. Anything entertainment related, lighting, whatever, we got you covered. So the easiest way, I mean, you can check out my website. Most people like the old Instagram, which is just DJ David Joseph Ashton Martin, ASHTON MARTIN. And that's my social there, or djashtonmartin.com. Or you hit the old
Nice.
Google, it works too.
Yes. Yes. And I'll put all of that in the show notes so everyone can find you there as
Cool.
well.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been so
No,
interesting.
no, thank you for having me. No, I enjoy explaining. Yeah, because when I was early on, my family was like DJ. They always think like radio. So it's came a long way. So I enjoy explaining or elaborating on certain areas because some people, yeah, they just don't know. How many times you book a DJ in your life? Maybe for your kid, maybe for your wedding, maybe
Yeah.
for your 50th. When would you ever, you know what I mean? Like if you're with
Yeah.
90% of what I do, maybe more, is getting on a phone call with somebody and educating them and just talking through what's your
Yeah.
vision? What do you want to do? Do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like, oh, I love this. Okay, cool. That's a lot of what I do. Because yeah,
That's
people
cool.
don't know. They don't think about it. So
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, again, thank you so much. I know you're busy, so I
no, you're
appreciate
good.
you cutting time out of. Wow, he is one busy, high energy guy. I don't know how he does it, but I do see why he is so successful. Here are a few takeaways. 1, don't underestimate the power of networking. It's all in who you know. You never know what doors will open after meeting someone new. 2, focus on what you do best and surround yourself with others that excel in the areas you do not. 3, routines are great for getting you in the right mindset. Establishing a morning and evening routine can be helpful to stay on track, in alignment, and find balance. 4, hustling and being a go-getter is awesome, and for many people, they thrive on it. But it is important to take time to slow down, relax, and fill your own cup. 5, with age comes wisdom of knowing your body even better. It's fun to challenge the limits and see how far you can push yourself, but also being aware of your true capabilities by listening to your body. 6, invest in yourself and establish your non-negotiables and stick with them. A big thank you again to Ashton for being on the show. You'll find all of his information in the show notes, and I hope you'll share this episode with a friend. Oh, and Shannon, the IV nurse that we both know, will be a guest on the podcast within the next month, so watch for that episode. Cheers. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to follow Spandex and Wine so you don't miss an episode. To do this, just go to the podcast and click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button. This is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing and much appreciated. Lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going, and join the Spandex and Wine community in our private Facebook group by searching Spandex and Wine. Feel free to reach out to me at any time by emailing info@spandexandwine.com or text me at 913-392-2877. I appreciate you. Thank you.